And we are live. Let's get it. Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Real Chill Conversations. How are you doing tonight, my girl Dominique?
I am doing great.
I'm happy to see you smiling and thriving. I love to see that. Tonight, I wanted to talk about ups and downs. We've had a couple of conversations over the last couple of weeks, and have kind of expressed some dissatisfaction. That has kind of been going on in our different situations and our different scenarios and just life in general and just kind of like what's going on with the world. We know the news of, Will and Jada broke that they'd been separated for 6 years and that she wasn't even considering herself his wife until he called her his wife at the infamous Oscar slap. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about relationships, ups and downs. How do we navigate to that? How do we navigate through that? And how do we get back on the same page and get back to happier terms and happier times where we're back to smiling and thriving and not wanting to shake him and 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 be like, look, man, stop driving me up a wall. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about is, do you think that most people that are in a relationship are able to identify when there's tensions and when there's things that are off within the relationship? And do they immediately identify that with their significant other, or do you think they wait it out a little bit and then things might start to kind of build up and fester? What are your thoughts on that?
I think they do. We just get that feeling inside of us, right? That feeling that just tell you that something is not right. So do we communicate it? I think some people lack in that communication. And that's why I say communication is so important because truth be told, we are all going to have relationships up and downs. Like that is the way you get to marriage or anything that you're wanting to do in your relationship. So, you wonder how people end up being together for so long and stuff like that, because they're able to talk things out, especially if it's issues within the relationship that can be easily communicated. But then some people don't, and they have a pretty miserable relationship. So, um, through all these up and downs, you just want to make sure that you have more good times than bad. You want to make sure that the good times outweigh the bad. What you think?
I think definitely having the good times to outweigh the bad times, that certainly gives you something to reflect back on, especially if you're feeling some type of way about your situation, about your relationship, if you're a little upset about it, if you're a little frustrated about it. Think about the times that, made you smile and made you happy and made you feel good and just, that the two of you were in a good place. And with that being said, then I would think that you would want to address the issue head on, probably sooner rather than later, so that things don't build up and so that things don't fester and you don't find yourself being mad at that person for small, insignificant things that you don't really necessarily need to be mad over. What do you think?
Yes, and I wanted to say now that you say you're going into this, we all made mistakes in relationships. So, but in order to build that strong foundation, is to learn the lesson. Learn the lesson. You know, what lesson did that mistake teach you? And embrace it too, because you have to be grateful of the stuff that you go through, because it shows you a new outlook in life. And maybe it could save your relationship. Um, are you receptive to your partner? Can you take the criticism? Some people can't.
Right. Right. And that's, I think, where a lot of problems will lie within people being able to get back on the same page and have their relationship in harmony, is because they can't take the criticism from their significant other. They find themselves being defensive when they don't need to be, when all you really need to be doing is listening. If you're listening to what your partner is saying and you're really hearing them, not just the words that are coming out of their mouth, but you're really
Right.
hearing what they're saying. I mean, that goes a long way, and it shows that you're paying attention. And it also falls under the category of being respectful of your significant other, because you're listening to them. What they're saying to you means something and it has value. And even if it's, a criticism or a comment about something that you said or done that has upset them, they're bringing it to your attention to let you know. Wouldn't you prefer that? Wouldn't you prefer that they bring it to your attention and they let you know that, so you have an opportunity to remedy the situation, because maybe you're doing something and you don't even realize it.
And fight for your relationship,
Yeah.
fight for your relationship too. I would 10 times rather for you to bring it to my attention than not say anything at all. Because, like I've said multiple times, the only thing that does is build things inside of you, negativity that it shouldn't be there anyway. Because what we don't realize is that this is our partner, not the opponent. Okay. So, you have to communicate with your partner. You have to be friends. You have to, if you don't like something, if you don't agree with something, you need to come back to the table and talk about it. This is how you're going to release that.
Yeah.
Instead of holding it in and then something else happen and then boom, you explode. It's
Right.
a very big deal. Um, we can say really nasty things to each other, really hurt each other feelings, and that was not needed.
Right. Right. Completely unnecessary. And I think, a lot of times we just get so wrapped up in how we're feeling, and we don't take into consideration how the other person is feeling. But
Exactly.
when you take the time to think about where the other person is coming from and try to put the shoe on the other foot, try to see it from the other person's perspective, that'll give you a little more insight, and you won't be so quick to be upset and be angry over them bringing something to your attention, and talking about it. And I think, too, when you're having these conversations, I think it's important to, like I said, we were talking about, cherish the good times, remember the good times. Talk about those good times. Remind each other of the fun that you guys have. Remind each other of a conversation that you had on the phone or in person or riding in the car that had y'all busted out laughing, or the time y'all was riding down the road, singing that song, the favorite song from whatever, whatever, and or that line from a movie, or a time that you went out, or a time that you did something fun together. You have to, keep bringing that to the forefront of your relationship and remind each other that you enjoy each other's company, that you like spending time together, that you like being with one another, that you can talk to each other, you can trust each other. And so that should help keep you on a, significant, consistent, level of happiness and satisfaction within your relationship. Yes, nobody's perfect. We're all human. We all make mistakes. So you are going to have ups and downs, but there are ways to actually navigate that to make the good times better, and make the bad times kind of, less frequent, if you work it the right way.
And that's the key. That's the key when people are together, because if the bad outweigh the good, then you have a big problem. That should be a very big red flag for you. Do you actually still want to be with this person? Do you still like this person? I'm not saying the whole relationship is going to be peaches and creams, because we know it's not, right? But don't take your partner for granted. And if they feel a certain type of way, like I said, it's better to address it now than wait until later, because that person could be feeling like, oh, okay, she don't care about my feelings. Good. You know what I'm saying? I'm a turn that back around. You know, it's gonna come back to you. It's gonna be a time where something's gonna bother you, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna just disregard it.
Right. And then that leads to nowhere. That just leads to a vicious cycle of you guys not being on the same
And
page
a breakup,
and a breakup. And
a
you're
potential
a
breakup.
potential breakup because you just fall off. You forget about the reasons why you fell in love with them in the first place, why you liked them in the first place. You don't remember
Absolutely.
times that you had because they're so far and few between, and it just leads for an unhealthy and an unhappy situation. And I just don't think that it does anybody any situation that make them unhappy. If you're not happy in your situation, then you need to express that to your significant other and let them know that you're not happy and what's going on.
And some people don't want to talk about it because they feel like, well, if I care about you and I love you, I don't want to hurt your feelings. But you're hurting that person even more by leading them on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Where you could easily just be real.
Yeah. Yeah.
You grown,
Not
they grown, y'all both grown ups. You know
you're
what I'm saying? You're an adult.
you're not
So talk
any
about it. You
yeah.
want to save your relationship? Talk about it.
Yeah. You're not doing me any favors by trying to spare my feelings because that's not going to get us anywhere and that's not going to get us to the point of communication. We're not going to resolve anything and we're not going to talk about anything if you just don't say anything. If you don't let me know, hey,
Because I'm going to let you know. I'm
uh,
like, hey,
I'm
come here.
we
We need to have a conversation.
need to have a conversation.
But you know that it feels so good after you do because you feel like, damn, like this is really my friend.
Right.
Like I can sit down and have a conversation with him
Yeah.
about something that we disagreed on and we got mad at each other. But
Right.
at the end of the day, it was like, damn, like he understands me, I understand him. You
Hmm.
know, he's listening to me.
Right.
That's showing me right there that he cares.
Right.
So it feel good. It feel good that your partner can be your friend too.
It does feel good, and it really feels like, you're in the right place, you're where you're supposed to be, you feel safe, you feel like you can be yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are important, for you as a person, and to be in a relationship, you want to feel safe and you want to feel important. You want to feel understood, you want to feel heard, you want to feel appreciated, you want to feel respected, and you should be giving
And
them.
all of those things are important. Now that you just said that, I do want to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
So, because I was looking at this TikTok of this guy named Chris, and I wanted to bring this up because I thought this was important. So, what are downs? Um, what are not downs in a relationship? I want to talk about that because he hit a very good point. Abuse, cheating, disrespecting your partner, manipulation, gaslighting, control. You know, those are things that are not downs and can potentially end your relationship. Now, when people be like, I'm down with you, or I go up, we have ups and downs in a relationship. That's true. But to me, and I agree with him, to me, downs are financial hardships, a serious death, illness. Um, you know, I think a lot of people just need to stop normalizing um, trauma because that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. And a lot of people, unfortunately, wind up bonding over trauma and wind up getting together because they either trauma bonded. And that's not healthy. You need to divert away from that. Yes, it's okay to, process, your trauma and go through what you went through and all of that. But people that are trauma bonded a lot of times wind up becoming dependent on each other for for all of their needs, and that's not healthy. You have,
Codependency.
yeah, codependency.
We talked about codependency.
Yeah,
And one of the good examples is, okay, let's say I go to work. I have a bad day at work. I come back home. I'm in a bad mood. My partner gets in a bad, he was in a good mood, but now he gets in a bad mood because now he see I'm in a bad mood.
yeah,
You see what I'm saying? Like, it shouldn't be like that.
right.
I want you to stay in your good mood
Yeah,
because I need you to lift me up, baby. Like,
right.
somebody got to be, some. When I have a bad day, I want my partner to lift me up. I
Right.
don't want him to
Oh,
have a bad day with me.
right. You want to feel comforted, and you want to feel supported. And again, you want to feel heard. Like if I'm telling you that I had a bad day, things went left at work, or something happened with the kids, or whatever. I mean, there's a million and one things that are going on in our lives that we have to combat and deal with each day, and deal with each day as we wake up every day to face each day. There's a number of things that can turn your world upside down. We get surprised phone calls all the time from school, from the teacher, from, something going on, or from a family member, or from a friend. And you just never know what's happening and what's going on. And there's so much out there that can throw you off. But if you have somebody there that is strong enough to support you and encourage you and lift you up and want to get you out of that good mood, like, come here, sit down, let me get you something to drink.
And you know what? I accepted a lot of cheating because I was trying to prove to that person that I love them.
Right, right,
That's all wrong. I had
right.
it all wrong.
That's a common mistake. That's a common mistake. We think that if we just love them enough, if we just stand through it enough, stay by them enough, stick with them enough, that's going to show them how much we care and how much we love them. And then that's going to, in fact, make them want to treat us the way that we deserve to be treated. And
Mhm.
it doesn't.
Yeah, and even of having, when you're married, okay, say you married to somebody, they went out and had a baby on you with somebody else.
Ugh.
Like, you still, what am I staying here for?
Mm-mm.
Like,
Nothing.
just explain to me.
Right.
Because I thought that I heard somebody say that, I mean, being loyal to a person is not that hard if you like them, right?
Right. 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 It's not a
So
not a difficult.
why fake the relationship? Why fake your feelings towards somebody? That's why I don't understand some
That's
people.
what I don't
You know
understand.
what I'm saying? I don't understand. If you don't want them, just let them go. If you
Yeah.
don't like them, just let them go. Do your life.
And if you don't like them and you've let them go, or they've let you go, then go ahead and move on with your life. Like
Exactly.
that, that's part of
It yes, you're gonna probably, but people, oh, I have kids with this person, I have years with this person,
it.
oh, this, that, and the other. They want to make up all type of excuses. Baby, look inside of you.
Yeah,
Okay. It was just something that you was ready to move on from, that you can't because you're so codependent on this person, but you ain't even want to be with them in the first place.
right,
And I
right.
don't like when people say, oh, I was forced into marriage. How were you forced into marriage? Did you have a gun in your head?
Mm-mm. I don't know. I think the answer to that
Stop
question,
making excuses.
yeah, I think the answer to that question lies within the individual that that makes that decision. I don't know why people think that marriage is going to change things. Marriage is
It
not.
doesn't, by the way.
Right, and I'm also here to tell you that it does not change things. If things are a certain way before you get married,
Exactly.
going to be a certain way after you get married. Getting married is not the fix for your relationship situation, or if you think you want to take things to the next level, you can take the things to the next level before you make that ultimate step in deciding to get married. I mean, marriage is a commitment, and to me there's just a certain standard that goes with that, and I wouldn't take marriage lightly. And for the longest time, I really was opposed to getting married. I didn't see the point in getting married. I didn't see the purpose in getting married because I never saw anyone who had a successful marriage that was actually happy in their marriage and was actually thriving in their marriage and
Well,
actually
it's not gonna be like that all the time.
right.
But like most of the time you do want to see that.
Yeah. But
Like, and
I
if it's not like that, then
yeah, I never saw it. So for me, I was like, I don't see the point. I don't see the point. I'll just be in this long-term relationship. And being in a long-term relationship, yeah, I stayed in the relationship longer than I should have, but I grew and I learned and I got to be stronger, within myself, and I got to recognize and realize the differences between relationship ups and downs and the peaks and valleys that we have in relationships versus outright red flags that are just flashing at you. Babe, this is off. Honey, this is wrong. Girl, this is a no. Difference. There is a difference. There's red
yeah, there well, those are the difference that I said. Like, some things are just not up and downs.
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean downs,
right.
not up because I love the ups,
Yeah,
but the downs, like all that extra shit that people be trying to bring into the relationship, no. Okay, because at the end of the day, when I'm gonna sit here, be with a person for another 16 years, just trying to prove to them that I love them, um,
no,
experiencing abuse, cheat, like, just everything you can name. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that.
yeah.
I don't think nobody should put themselves through that trauma,
Nobody.
and I won't put myself through that trauma.
And I just, the reason why I wanted to just briefly talk about this today was, for people to understand that yes, you are going to go through ups and downs
I'm not gonna do it.
in
Find somebody else to do.
you're going to go through ups and downs in your relationship, but there's a difference between ups and downs, and then there's a difference between downs and blatant red flags that are just jumping out at you screaming, no girl, go ahead, run fast as you can, don't pass go, don't just go, just get out.
And in the regular downs, it's like you supposed to be there with your partner. Like, um, if y'all have an issue, you all should be able to come together and tackle that issue together. So if this means that your partner has, for example, a financial issue,
Hmm.
y'all should be able to come up with a plan,
Yeah,
both of y'all
yeah.
together, and help your partner, because that takes a toll off of them,
Hmm.
and they see that you're going to be there for them, and they
Right.
see that you love them and you really want to get this. But some people be like, that's your issue, that ain't mine.
Yeah, there are people out there that are
I
like,
don't want your problem.
yeah, yeah, but
But you got to think about it. When you with somebody that's, I mean, they're expecting you to help them on situations they issue and come to the table and y'all find a resolution for it. Because if it's affecting that one person, it's going to affect you as well.
exactly, exactly.
Because if that person is not going to like be able to think, rationalize, if he has a business or anything that he has going on and he's trying to do it, he's going to keep thinking about this issue in the back of his head.
Right.
So you as his partner
Gonna be,
should be able to set a goal,
yeah,
and kind of help out.
you don't want them stressed. You don't want them stressed because that's going to make that you stressed, and then that stress is going to interfere with y'all being able to interact on the healthy happy level of having good times. That's going to put you in a downward type situation when you're in the down status of your relationship versus the up status of your situation, when you come up with a solution, you can come up with a plan, you can come up with ideas. I mean, even if it's like you brought up a financial situation, even if you don't have the means to handle the situation right now, today,
Come up with a goal.
come up with a goal, come up with a plan. work towards something, do something every week or do something every month that's contributing to that plan. And as you see that you're making progress and as you see you're making growth, that's going to bond you guys closer together because you are in a true partnership and you are truly communicating and you are understanding that there are times when I'm going to need to lean on my significant other. And there's times when I'm going to go through things, and there's times when you're going to go through things. And those are going to be, the different times in our situation where we may not be all the way up, but we don't have to be all the way down either if we
Yeah,
just
don't put
get,
them down. Like, don't put your partner down.
yeah,
Don't, because that's a good way to be like. So you're saying like, fuck me,
right, right,
like, yeah,
yeah,
like you don't want to do that.
yeah. Because then they're not going to feel valued. And for me, if I'm not feeling valued, then like what's my purpose, what's my point? Like, I don't need
What's my purpose of being with you?
being with you. Exactly, I don't need to be here for
Right.
I don't need to be here for that. So, well, that was all I had to share on the relationship ups and downs topic for this evening. Do you have any closing thoughts to share with us?
Communication. As much as people want to ignore it, like communication is the key.
Yeah,
And of course, you and your partner might not see eye to eye in some things, but what you do want to make sure.
agree to disagree. That's
Yeah.
healthy. That's healthy. We don't have to have the same opinion, about everything because we're not the same person. How you see things all the time may not be how I see things all the time. There may be times when you sway me over to your view and I see it from your perspective. I'm like,
Right, because we all different.
hey, I get it.
None of us are the same. We're not perfect.
Right,
We're not living in a fantasy world.
right.
So, I mean, I'm just saying, if you want your relationship to work and you're really serious about it, now I know some people, they have passive relationships and that's good. That works for them. But if you're serious about your relationship and you have that communication, it's definitely gonna work.
Yeah.
It's gonna work. And if it doesn't work, then that person was just not for you.
Not for you, and you just got to keep it moving, and don't devalue yourself. Don't think less of yourself because a relationship doesn't work. Be glad for every position that you're placed in because you learn something from it. There's always a lesson in every experience that we have, the good ones and the bad ones, especially the bad ones. Those are the ones that I think teach us the most lessons because those are the ones the most painful, and the ones that hurt the most are the ones that we tend to think hardest about. And someone commented, "Woo, child, so much to say on this," but I agree with you, smiley face heart. So yes, there is a lot to say on this
Oh,
topic.
yes, it is. There's countless of things to say about this. Look, like I'm surprised you still not talking about it.
Y'all continue to drop your thoughts in the comments, and we can keep the conversation going after we get off of this live. But I just wanted to talk about it. Relationships, ups and downs, we are going to have them, but you need to know the differences. You need to know the differences between relationships, ups and downs versus red flags. And you just need to know, like Dominique was saying, you need to know when you need to communicate. If you're feeling a type of way or you're having some kind of issue with your significant other, you need to bring it to their attention right away. Now, I don't know as far as the Will and Jada situation. I don't really know how that went down. I didn't
Wow.
I didn't read the book. I just watched some of the interviews and read some of the
That was too much information.
and some of the clips, but it just seems like the decisions that they made, they they didn't seem like they were making their decisions with the best of intentions for each other. it
I think it's too much.
it it really seems like they were just trying to hold on to a status and a symbol of a celebrity power couple in Hollywood. Because
Exactly.
I don't know why y'all
I
chose
guess just for the image.
why y'all chose to do a lot of the things that you chose. But there are people that are like that. There are people that'll be in a situation and they'll be like, oh, well, we're
There are people that would just stay with you for the image,
yep,
but they lying.
yep,
They
yep.
lying.
They are lying.
Ain't none of that stuff that they was talking about was really true.
Not one bit.
All
All right.
right, peace out, y'all.
Joining us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Love y'all. Bye bye.
Bye.